The phone call came at 10:47 p.m., 11 hours before I was supposed to walk down the aisle at the Riverside Gardens venue. I was in my hotel room, wedding dress hanging on the closet door, when the coordinator's panicked voice shattered my pre-wedding calm. "Ms. Walker, I'm so sorry, but your venue has been canceled. Your father called this afternoon and canceled everything. The ceremony space, the reception hall, the catering. He said there would be no wedding tomorrow." I sat down hard on the bed, my hands suddenly numb. That's impossible. He can't cancel my wedding. He was listed as the primary contact since he put down the initial deposit. He had all the confirmation numbers. "I'm so sorry, but we've already booked another event for tomorrow afternoon. There's nothing we can do." I hung up and immediately called my father. He answered on the second ring, and I could hear the TV blaring in the background, probably watching sports with my brother as usual. "What did you do?" I whispered. "Finally came to my senses is what I did," he said, not even pretending to misunderstand. "You're too ugly for a big wedding anyway, Iris. 200 guests, a garden venue? Who are you trying to fool?" My mother's voice chimed in, speakerphone, of course. She laughed, that sharp, bitter sound I'd heard my whole life. "Save the money for your sister's real wedding. When Chloe gets married, it'll be worth celebrating. She's actually pretty enough to deserve it." "My wedding is tomorrow," I said, my voice shaking. "The guests are flying in. Everything is paid for." "Was paid for," Dad corrected. "I got most of the deposits back. Amazing what you can do when you're the one who paid. Oh, that reminds me, I canceled the photographer too, and the flowers, and that ridiculous string quartet. You're not even paying for this wedding. James and I paid for everything ourselves." "With whose help?" Dad's voice turned nasty. "Who co-signed your venue contract because you needed to establish credit history? Who put down the deposit when you were short that first month? You needed Daddy's help then, and Daddy decided to take it back. This is illegal. This is parenting," he interrupted. "Somebody had to stop you from embarrassing yourself. Walking down that aisle like you're some princess when you look like you. At least now James can find someone in his league." Mom laughed again. "Maybe we did him a favor. He's so handsome, and you're so... you." Everyone would have spent the whole wedding wondering what he was thinking. "Chloe needs a new car," Dad added. "The money from your deposits will cover a nice down payment. See, everyone wins." The line went dead. I sat in that hotel room, staring at my wedding dress. The one I'd spent months finding, the one that made me feel beautiful for the first time in my life. And didn't cry. Not yet. Because they had no idea what I'd already planned. See, this wasn't the first time they'd done something like this. When I was 16, they canceled my sweet 16 party the morning of, saying I was too awkward for a party and giving the money to Chloe for shopping. When I graduated high school as valedictorian, they skipped the ceremony to take Chloe to a modeling audition. She didn't get the job. When I got into MIT for graduate school, they told the whole family I'd probably drop out anyway, so why celebrate? But the worst was 2 years ago. I'd been selected for a prestigious engineering award, youngest woman ever to receive it. The ceremony was black tie with industry leaders from around the world. My parents RSVP'd yes, then didn't show. Later, I found out they told people I'd lied about the award because girls like Iris don't win things like that. That's when I started planning, not for revenge exactly, for freedom, for proof. And now, 11 hours before my wedding, they'd played their final card. They just didn't know I'd been holding a royal flush for 2 years. I picked up my phone and scrolled to a contact labeled insurance policy. James had thought I was paranoid when I'd insisted on this backup plan. Now he'd understand why I never trusted my family with anything important. "Maggie," I said when she answered. "It's happening." Just like I predicted. Maggie Chen owned the Celestial Ballroom, the most exclusive venue in the city. She was also my mentor's wife, and she'd been horrified when I told her about my family. 6 months ago, I put down a secret deposit for her venue as a backup, telling her to keep the date open just in case. "Oh, honey," she said. "I'm so sorry, but don't worry, we're ready. Everything you planned for, we can execute. The Celestial is yours tomorrow. And the other arrangements? Already. The videographer has the equipment set up. The social media team is on standby. Everything you asked for is in place." I hung up and made my next call, To James, my fiancé, who answered with sleep in his voice. Hey, beautiful. Too excited to sleep. They canceled our venue, I said quietly. My parents. They canceled everything. Silence. Then, those bastards. Are you okay? Do you want to postpone? We can go to the courthouse, just us. No, I said. We're getting married tomorrow. At the Celestial Ballroom. Everything's already arranged. The Celestial? But that's how. Remember when I said I had trust issues with my family? This is why. I booked a backup venue 6 months ago. Paid for it with my bonus from the Patterson project. I knew they'd try something. You gorgeous genius, he breathed. What do you need me to do? Call your side of the family. Tell them the venue changed. I'll handle my side. Iris, are you sure you want to invite them after this? I smiled, though he couldn't see it. Oh yes. I definitely want them there. The next morning was chaos, but the good kind. The Celestial Ballroom was even more beautiful than Riverside Gardens. Where the original venue had been pretty, this was breathtaking. Crystal chandeliers, marble floors, windows overlooking the city skyline. The kind of place that hosted celebrity weddings and charity galas. Maggie had worked miracles overnight. My flowers were upgraded to exotic orchids. The string quartet became a full orchestra. The catering went from standard to 5-star. She called in every favor, pulled every string, and created something beyond my wildest dreams. Consider it my wedding gift, she said, squeezing my hand. That and what's about to happen. I'd texted my family the new address an hour before the ceremony, keeping the message simple. Wedding still happening, new venue. Hope you can make it. They showed up, of course. Not to support me, but to see what disaster I'd scrambled together at the last minute. I watched from the bridal suite window as they pulled up in Dad's BMW. Saw their faces when they realized where they were. The Celestial Ballroom. The venue Chloe had begged to have her Sweet 16, only to be told it was too expensive and exclusive. The place Mom had tried to book her anniversary party, only to be told they were beneath the waiting list. They walked in wearing their sneers like accessories, ready to mock whatever pathetic replacement I found. Then they saw the transformation. The flowers that cost more than their car payment, the orchestra warming up with classical pieces, the champagne fountain that actually had champagne, not sparkling wine. Chloe's mouth fell open. She was supposed to be the pretty one, the one who deserved grand things. But here she stood in her off-the-rack dress, surrounded by elegance she'd never achieved. That's when phase 2 began. Mr. and Mrs. Walker, a woman with a camera and perfect smile, approached them. I'm from City Living magazine. We're doing a feature on the wedding. Engineer bride stuns at Celestial Ballroom. Can we get a quick interview about your daughter? Dad straightened, already preening. He loved attention, loved being important. Of course, we're so proud of our Iris. Oh, I'm sorry, the reporter interrupted. I should clarify. We heard there was some confusion about the venue, something about a last-minute cancellation. His face went pale. Where did you hear that? She smiled wider. Oh, we have our sources. In fact, we have some very interesting voicemails from the Riverside Gardens about a father canceling his daughter's wedding because he thought she was too ugly for a big wedding. Can you comment on that? Mom grabbed Dad's arm. We're not commenting on anything. What about this recording? The reporter held up her phone. Dad's voice rang out clear as day. You're too ugly for a big wedding anyway. People were starting to stare. Wedding guests, my colleagues, James's family, industry leaders I'd invited, were witnessing this unraveling. That's taken out of context, Dad sputtered. What context makes that acceptable? The reporter asked. And what about the deposits you redirected? We have screenshots of text messages about using the wedding money for your other daughter's car. Is it true you stole from your daughter's wedding to buy your favorite child a vehicle? Chloe turned red. I didn't know. They just said they were buying me a car. With your sister's wedding funds, the reporter clarified. The sister who graduated MIT, who won the Morrison Engineering Award, who just landed the Tecton Industries contract. That sister, the one you called ugly. That's when they noticed the cameras. Not just the reporters, multiple cameras, positioned strategically around the entrance. The videographer I'd hired specifically for this moment. The social media team live streaming to platforms I've set up months ago. What is this? Mom hissed at me as I descended the stairs in my wedding dress. The one that fit like a dream, that made my supposedly ugly self look like royalty. This, I smiled. This is consequences. You set us up. No, I said. You canceled my wedding and stole my money. I just made sure everyone knew about it. Every single guest here is watching you right now. My colleagues, my mentors, James's family. They all know what you did. We're your parents. Dad's face was purple. You're humiliating us. You humiliated me first. The difference is, I did nothing to deserve it. The reporter stepped closer. Ms. Walker, our readers would love to know. How did you manage to book the Celestial Ballroom at the last minute? I looked directly at my parents as I answered. I've had it booked for 6 months. I knew my family would try to sabotage my wedding. They've sabotaged every important moment of my life. So this time, I was ready. You're lying, Mom whispered. The deposit alone is less than the bonus I got for the Patterson project, I said. You know, the project you told everyone I fail at. The one where you said women like me don't succeed in tech. That project is why I could afford this. My success, not yours. Chloe was crying now, mascara running. This was supposed to be my venue. For my wedding someday, you stole my dream venue. No, I said calmly. I pay for mine, with money I earned. At a job I got with a degree I completed despite your constant criticism. While you were spending my stolen wedding funds on a car. Security appeared, discreet but present. Maggie had thought of everything. I think it's time you left, I said. This is a private event and you're not welcome here. You can't throw us out, Dad roared. We're your family. Family doesn't sabotage each other. Family doesn't call each other ugly. Family doesn't steal from each other. I nodded to security. Please escort them out. As they were led away, Mom shrieking about lawsuits and disrespect, I called out one more thing. Oh, and Dad, that primary contact status to use to cancel my venue, I've already had it legally changed. You're no longer authorized on any of my accounts, and those deposits you thought you got back. Riverside Gardens called me first. I redirected them to the Celestial Ballroom. You stole nothing. His face as he realized he'd been played was worth every penny I'd spent. The wedding was perfect. Better than perfect. James cried when he saw me. His family embraced me like I was precious. My colleagues toasted my success. And everyone knew my worth had nothing to do with my family's opinion. The City Living article came out 2 weeks later. Beautiful Bride Overcomes Family Cruelty was the headline. It went viral. The recording of Dad calling me too ugly for a wedding became a talking point about family emotional abuse. My story inspired others to share theirs. Chloe posted a tearful apology video that fooled no one. My parents threatened to sue until they realized I had recordings of years of abuse. They went silent after that, telling family I was dead to them. Good. I'd been dead to them my whole life anyway. The only difference was now everyone knew it. 6 months later, I got a call from Chloe. She was engaged, she said, and couldn't afford a venue. Did I have any connections? Could I help? I'm too ugly to have connections, I said. Remember? I'm sorry, she whined. I didn't mean it. I'm your sister. No, I said. You're someone who stood by while our parents destroyed every milestone in my life. You laughed when they called me ugly. You took my wedding money for a car. Sisters don't do that. So you won't help me? I'll help you the same way you helped me, which is not at all. I hung up and went back to my life, my beautiful life, with my husband who thinks I'm gorgeous, my job that values my brain, my friends who see my worth. They thought I was too ugly for a big wedding. Turns out, they were too ugly inside to be part of my beautiful life. The Celestial Ballroom still sends me Christmas cards. Maggie says I'm the bride who proved that true beauty comes from standing tall in the face of cruelty. That grace under fire is the most elegant thing you can wear. My parents, they're still telling anyone who'll listen that I ruined the family, that I'm a vindictive daughter who humiliated them for no reason. But everyone's seen the video. Everyone's heard the recording. You're too ugly for a big wedding anyway. Those 7 words destroyed them. Not because I made them public, but because they said them at all. Because they believed them. Because they acted on them. I didn't ruin my family. I just refused to let them ruin me. And that's the most beautiful revenge of all.